Good evening, everyone. Happy Wellness Wednesday. I'm sorry about this lighting. I'm actually in a hotel today. So I'm trying to sit at the desk and get some light. Maybe if I turn towards the window, let's see if that helps. That's a little better because it's not quite dark yet. Well, good evening. Good evening. Welcome on to our Wellness Wednesday book discussion. I'm coming to you live from Houston. My lovely hotel. I have a great view. I went to the top floor. I was like, oh, I want to be at the top so I can look out over the city. It's beautiful. So, if you're new here, welcome. If you're watching a replay, just so you know, we have been reading the 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power by Dr. Boyce Watkins. And we're going to wrap up chapter 7 today. Usually we take about 2 weeks to wrap up a chapter, but chapter 7 was quite long. So let me know who's joining today. Hey, Natasha. I'm doing great. I'm just sleepy because I woke up super early to catch my flight. And so I am coming to you live from Houston, Texas tonight. So awesome. And so why don't we jump in, Natasha? It's just us, our girl time. You know how we like to talk. So, let me put this on Do Not Disturb because I get my text messages to my computer, so it can be a little distracting. All right, so we're going to jump in. I believe we are on page 151, and we'll finish up chapter 7 tonight. Hey, Deborah, I'm so glad you could make it. Wonderful. Yeah, thank you, Natasha, for being here for me because I got an event to go to after this. And I'm like, I am on the struggle bus, okay? Because I could not sleep on the plane, probably because I had that good espresso before I got on the plane. But sorry about this weird lighting, y'all. This is what Dr. Boyce goes through when he's in hotel rooms. Now I know how he feels because this lighting is not good. But anyway, this suite is nice, y'all. Like I'm totally like off topic. But this is a great suite. I'm really loving this, digging this view of the city and everything. So we're gonna start on page 151. Welcome in. Tell your friends, tell everybody to come join us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. So we're going to start talking page 151 on how Black people are taught to be good economic slaves. Lord have mercy. Don't you just love Dr. Boyce? He keeps it 100 every single time. And so he says, African Americans are not taught to go after wealth. We are instead taught to chase income until we grow old and die. This is the thing, y'all. Thank you, Natasha, for sharing. I am like over trading time for money. Now, do I have to do it still? Absolutely, yes, because I still need to survive and eat and such. But won't it be great the day that all of our needs will be taken care of based on passive income? Anybody want passive income besides me? Because, that would be great where we don't have to trade time for money. And then he talks about the public school system, how it educates us on how to get jobs and not make investments. Because think about it, you know how Dr. Boyce teaches us like options trading, right? And I remember I went to the All Black National Convention and we were in this breakout session, and one of the presenters, Errol, who I know many of us know here, he was talking about how he only trades like 3 hours he does his trades and his research within 3 hours a week, and the rest of his time he spends living. I was like, goals. Can I get a whole entire witness? Yes, that's the kind of life I want to live. I want to work for 3 hours, right? And then I want to be like Natasha and Leilani. That's who I want to be. I just want to study all day, read, and just learn great things, and then just do my 3 hours of options, and voila, all my needs are taken care of. So that was goals. I was very incentivized by that. He says children are rewarded for sitting down and being quiet, not for being creative and bold. And this is so true but see, if you think about education, our education system is really designed for the industrial revolution. Like when people worked in factories, and they all have to just know how to follow directions. Hey, girl, good to see you, Soror. I'm so glad you could make it tonight. We're on page 151. Welcome everyone who's joining us. Sorry about the lighting. I am in a hotel, so I'm on a business trip. So forgive the lighting for today. So this is the thing, y'all. If you really think about it, like first of all, our education system is antiquated. It's really not designed. Thank you, Natasha. You took the words exactly out of my mouth. They want workers, not thinkers. And one thing I appreciated about my high school, it was very hard. My high school was harder than college. I'm not even gonna lie, and definitely harder than grad school. Oh my gosh, y'all. Because we had to think. First of all, our math books in high school did not have numbers, they had words. Okay. So I had to learn how to think. I had to learn how to, what do these words mean and how do I put numbers to them? And that is not very common. And so one thing that I noticed about myself and my classmates is that we know how to solve problems. We don't, it's like, okay, well, this is the situation. What are the facts? And how do we solve this using what we already know or what research we need to go get? So to me, that's what we need to be teaching our kids is like how to think. Because I even noticed with young adults, like mentoring them and what have you, a lot of them, they come to you when they have a problem and they don't even think about a solution ahead of time. And I think that is so odd. Like, I'm like, what? Hey, Jen. Jen is black on the platform, y'all, just in case. Oh, excuse me. Natasha, me too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hate word problems, my personal self. I used to be, I'm not gonna tell y'all what I used to do, okay? I'm gonna just keep my secret to myself. I passed though. I passed. Okay. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. So then he talks about student loans, you guys. So here's the deal. These student loans start us out with a negative net worth. That's what it does in the Black community. So, you want to know my secret? So because I didn't really understand what was going on in those math problems. So I used to wait and go to school in the morning because I used to get to school way before school started because I was bused into school because it was so far away. Oh, my high school is by your house, Jen. And but I'm from Inglewood. So, Inglewood to Carson is a little journey. And it's not a far journey, but with 405 traffic is a journey. And well, actually my school's off the 91. But anywho, California people know. Yeah. And so anyway, I would get to school super early, y'all, like an hour before school. And long story short, I would just ask the Asian kid. I'd be like, come over here, help me with this homework. And so, but hey, you know what? Once they explained it to me, I was able to do it. But I just couldn't get the engine going. Okay. I'm like, what are you talking about? Don't worry, calculus was way easier than that foolery. I'm like, give me some numbers. I'm Gucci with numbers, but when you want to add words, I'm not a word person. That's just not who I am. As y'all can see, I just kind of speak. That's not my thing. Hi, Terry. No, Terry, it's not a private school. It's actually the California Academy of Math and Science. So it's on a college campus, and the premise is for you basically in order to get into the school, we had to do a math project and a science project. Now, I went to school in the hood, and of course we had a science project. But you know what saved me? The fact that I went to the UCLA Smarts Engineering program every summer and I had a math project for my rocket science class. That is how I got into my high school. Praise God that I was in that program because my school didn't give us math projects. I don't know what I would have done on the interview. And so basically, I say all that to say that this is the kind of thing that our kids need to, and young adults, because I don't know if any of y'all ever worked with some young adults like in their 20s. I'm like, baby, I need you to think of a solution first before you ask me, and then we can work through the solution together. It's like they kind of want you to just tell them the answer. And I'm like, no, but I want you to think about it. And that actually, that's where the creativity piece comes in. And as we help our children and our young people build their creativity, that's how that can spark them to create businesses, solve bigger problems. Like everything is all connected. Because when you kind of spoon feed, kids or even adults, it's like all they can do is get a job, because they don't, it's like you need to wait for somebody to tell you what to do. So yeah, oh my god. Yes, exactly. Because in kinder gen, they're not already brainwashed. That's the thing. They're still in their natural state. Oh, Jen is the dancing queen. I love it. Exactly. Yeah, I needed that simple form. That's right, Natasha. I needed them to break that all the way down, because I don't do words. Words ain't for me. No, I'm just kidding. That sounds so ignorant. Sorry, y'all. Let me bring it back. Let me be professional again. The second thing Dr. Boyce talks about is, how media is really heavily focused on materialistic and shallow culture. I want to know what y'all think about that, because growing up, let me speak for myself. Hopefully that AC is not too loud. I know I grew up in Los Angeles, so it was very much about, well, in my circle, like wearing a name brand clothes, latest fashion, this and that. And my parents didn't believe in that. They were like, you're not about to be materialistic. And as hard as that was for me, because I was definitely thanks, Jen. I was definitely teased growing up because I didn't have like, name brand stuff. But at the end of the day, like now as an adult, like my worth is not connected to what label I have on my body. Because somebody said something, oh my gosh, was it on a Dr. Boyce? Anyway, I was listening to something. We listen to many things every day. And they were talking about how these rappers, at the D1 concert, I think, how, rappers are glorifying all of these name brands, and they don't even own the clothes on their back. And these name brands are really don't even want us in those clothes. So it's like, yeah, it was a panelist at the D1 concert, and she was like, we don't have things like FUBU no more or cross colors anymore. And we're out here promoting and glorifying brands that don't even care nothing about us. They ain't doing nothing for our community. And we're making them richer, because a lot of times, like I know I heard like Beyonce, for example, a lot of times celebrities get stuff for free anyway. They're not paying for it, but they wear it so that other people go out who really can't afford it, go out and pay for it, Exactly, like Tommy Hilfiger. Yep. Oh, thank you, Jen. Yes. And it's very shallow. And then this is the thing, like what I didn't understand, I got my niece asked for some Gucci slides when she was like 13 or something, or 12, or what? Anyway, I was like, oh, okay, I would never think to ask that at that age. You ain't got no job. What are you talking about? So I'm sorry, y'all, I'm sleepy. I'm just going free for all over here. So the third thing he talks about is how family culture raises us to believe that income comes from a paycheck. Preach. Listen, no, it doesn't have to. Income doesn't have to come from a paycheck. I learned that at 16 when I opened my first Charles Schwab account with the help of my parent, of course. And I got a dividend bearing mutual fund, and I was like, oh, this is okay. I like this a lot. Money does not have to come from a paycheck, right? I've won money before. And not to go too far left off the book, but I was just listening to a YouTube live before I came on with a mentor, and she wrote this book. Her name is Hazel Ortega. Her book is amazing, phenomenal. Get it on Audible. It's called From Bounce Check to Private Jets. Okay. I mean, you could listen to it in 2 days because it's so good. You don't want to stop listening to it. And she talks about how she went from being in the hood and growing up in like around downtown LA to now private jets, speaking at the UN and all of this, all because of the way she thinks and what she believes. And so abundance, I think, Jen hit it on the head. is this abundance mindset is crucial, because money definitely does not only have to come from a paycheck. It can come from many sources. Because, for me, for example, God is my source. And I had to learn that I learned this from Tasha, my wealth coach. She was like, she was like, you're putting too much pressure on your business to make money. Money don't have to come from your business. You don't have to squeeze X amount of money out of your business. It could come from anywhere. So be open to the blessings that God has for you. So I was like, wow, duh. I do have money coming from different sources, and I just never stopped to look at it that way. I just wanted my business to perform in a certain way. And then, what did Deborah say? So she said, shallow personified. She told her son that she sent to private school. So if he wanted designer clothes, he would have to buy them, because she was spending her money on educating him. Exactly, Deborah. That's spot on. That is spot on. Because my parents did too. I went to private school until I was in 3rd grade. Then I went to traditional public school from 4th to 8th. And then from 8th, I went on to, the California Academy of Math and Science. So that's amazing. And, the thing is, what our kids got to understand is that once you're educated, nobody can take it away from you. They can't take your degree back. They can't take your knowledge back, the experience back. Nobody can take it away. And so, but, like I had, I think, one pair of cross colors or whatever, or FUBU, whatever it was. I don't remember. And I just got it because that's what everybody was wearing. But I thought it was ugly. I mean, no shade to people who liked it, but I just, it's just not who. It just doesn't appeal to like my fashion sense. And I know it's not saying much right now, but I just got off an airplane. Yes, exactly, Deborah. Like that's how my parents were. They were like, we're not wearing that, so you're not wearing it either. This is good, Terry. Thank you. A lot of our youth have to be educated to the fact we can acquire money other ways but than a job. I only knew about working to get cash. Yeah, I think we all well, I seen gambling to get money. I learned about investing to get money. I saw a job and I saw business ownership. And I saw real estate ownership as a way to get money, because the owner of the building that I lived in growing up, she really loved me. She was like, oh my God, you're so smart. And, she was a wealthy Black woman, right? And so, she would come over in her Benz. So like, okay, the reason why I drive a Mercedes Benz is because the people that I looked up to when I was young who were doing well, all drove Mercedes Benzes. And so it kind of brainwashed me to, I'm like, oh, well, if you're doing well, you should drive a Mercedes Benz. Hi, Tashi. Are you still in Cali, girl? So, but these people, I learned a lot from being around wealthy Black people growing up, right? I learned about quality, right? Because it's nothing wrong with name brand, but I definitely believe in quality. I'm huge on that. Like when I was 5 and 6 years old, my aunt was taking my cousin and I to Neiman Marcus for tea, wearing Chanel bags and things of that nature. Now, it wasn't that they could afford it, right? They weren't but everything was about quality. So I always do think that there's a fine line between just like buying things that you can't afford, or name brands and things versus, are you getting like key quality pieces that you will have, pretty much for a lifetime. Oh, I like this, Natasha. Yes, self-education is what's creating millionaires. Absolutely, 100%. Listen, don't laugh at me, Jen, with the gambling. Yep, I seen, like, my daddy used to have them poker parties at the house. And honey, they be having all that money on the table. And I would run up to my uncles. I'd be like, let me get some money. Yes, indeed. I sure did. You said she left us. Oh, you left, Tashi. Oh, I hope you had a good time. So this is another thing. Number 4 on 152, Black people are raised to believe that integration is a symbol of success. So I grew up in a Black and Mexican neighborhood. So my parents didn't, we lived in the hood. They didn't go out to the suburbs and things like that. Because my parents grew up in the Jim Crow South, and my dad was telling me back in the day, everything you needed was in your community. There was no integration before. I guess they integrate. Him and his cousins integrated his schools in like around the Galveston area, but I'm laughing at you, Deborah. And so I think that you know it was good for me to see people that look like me owning businesses. I think that was huge. And then he talks about, I caught this part the trap. We're on page 152, the second to last paragraph. He says we crave job titles, college degrees, and income over asset ownership, meaningful skills, land, and true wealth. Right. I know a couple years ago, me and my friend went on a campaign for asset ownership. We were like, assets, assets, assets. That's what we want to spend our money on, right? Building skills. I know every one of us here, we're all skill building people, right? And then acquiring land. If you don't want to acquire land, because being a landlord is not fun, let me tell you, I just had to get 2 repairs in my house as a landlord. Okay, it's not fun. But you can own REITs, real estate investment trusts. You sure can. Okay, what's happening in the chat? Yep, this is true, Terry. Yep. Yeah, Natasha, it was a side hustle. She's talking about gambling. So these are the things, in my opinion, and Dr. Boyce's, obviously, the asset ownership, meaningful skills, land, and building true wealth. That's it. That's the formula right there. And finding what works for you. In your risk tolerance, because again, everybody don't want to be a landlord. Some people are scared of the market but educate yourself. We live in a world now, everything is at your fingertips, so it's no reason not to do that. So let's keep on going. So this is the part right here at the bottom of page 152. He says, when they say I started a new business, they are often ridiculed and not supported. I cannot emphasize this enough as a small business owner myself. One, if you know other people that started a business, don't ask people for a discount. Please don't do that. Because guess what? They're not going to be in business. It does no. If they want to give a discount, that's different and they can give it. But one thing I learned in my business, which I was offended by, is people asking you for discounts all the time because they knew you and stuff like that, because they knew me. And I was like, okay, one, I will go out of business if I give everybody a discount. And two, you don't go in a grocery store and ask them to give a discount on all your groceries. You don't do that at Macy's. So how do we expect businesses to stay in business if we expect, other or people that we know to discount us? Because I remember when I was running my, I have an essential oils business, and I used to make homemade remedies. And my cousin was visiting from Japan, and his son kept getting mosquito bites. And he didn't, he was like a little kid, and he didn't want to put off and stuff on him. I said, oh, no worries. I'll make you some, I have some homemade mosquito repellent. And I was like, here you go. He was like, how much? And I was like, it's fine, your family. He was like, no, you run a business. I'm going to pay you. My cousin taught me a valuable lesson that day. Listen, this Natasha said it, okay? Because Natasha be in my head, Yes, exactly, Jen. And also supporting Black-owned businesses is like as easy as like Natasha and Jen. I know y'all share my YouTube. I appreciate that. Y'all come in here sharing with your friends and family, people who like to be a part of these discussions, who need to hear these discussions. That's huge. Referring, like if you're one of my clients and you refer me to a friend or family member, that means a lot. That goes a long way. Yes, y'all do, Jen. Y'all be showing up for me, and I appreciate it. And I'm gonna tell you every week, because it has been a difficult road. I love the road, wouldn't change it, but it has been, some trials and errors being a business owner. So let's keep on going. So in 153, he said, what are we talking about? The three pillars of wealth. So first, oh my gosh, time is going so fast. I know that's right, Deborah. Exactly. When my sister used to do my hair, she charged me the full price. People were like, "Oh my gosh, you have to pay." Yes, I have to pay. So I'm just saying, listen, that's how people stay. Yay! Thank you, Jen. Thank you for being one of my amazing clients. Yes. Thank you, Terry. Yes. And I want to put this for every business owner. Keep going. There are going to be times when you hit some of those walls, but keep going. And listen, I'd rather do this than be on the plantation. I can tell you that. And that's a story for another day. So and I love you all. So he says the first pillar of wealth is owning your own business. And then because he said it's risky to depend on a corporate job. Let me tell you, that is the truth, because so many people I know who stayed at my former place of employment were laid off. Very risky. You don't have to own an entire business, but you can own a piece of a business. Then he says, let's keep going. So the second pillar of wealth is stock market investing. If you are scared of the market, please get together. Go to the Black Business School, the THE Black Business School.org, I believe. Just Google the Black Business School. And there are plenty of courses there that will teach you all about investing. Because he says here on page 156, the government makes sure that investors receive a large number of tax benefits, right? Keep more money in your pocket, right? So let me tell you, you get so many tax benefits as a business owner. Yep. Oh, yep. I sure am about to do my first put. I funded my account. Now I just have to do my application. Yep, because I'm trying to replace my income with options. I was like, I want to be like Errol. Yeah. Yes, they do love us, Deborah. Ugh, so annoying. So listen, if you are a business owner, remember you get some great tax benefits because the tax code is really designed for business owners. Okay, very much so. And then one thing he talks about on 157, I think, can we? Oh my gosh, chapter 7, Commandment 7 is long. Is he says the best way to take advantage of the stock market is to simply allocate a consistent percentage of your pay to the market every week. The key to investing is time and consistent investing. Okay, that's the best thing I can tell you. And then he goes on to talk about the final pillar of wealth is real estate ownership. So again, we all know that owning property is not for everybody. My husband and I are real estate investors, and there's whenever something is going on with your real estate, you got to deal with it. But you can obviously own REITs, real estate investment trust, which is similar to purchasing stock. So we're gonna wrap up here because it's already 8:29. Just Dr. Boyce at the end of this chapter 160 to 162, he talks about how he chose the assets in his portfolio. So make sure you check those pages out and absolutely be a part of the 5-year pledge. Basically, what Dr. Boyce recommends is for the next 5 years, and take a bill that you pay of $500 or more and put that equal amount, if not more, into the market. That's what Dr. Boyce is recommending for 5 years to really see your wealth begin to rise. Give yourself time. You need knowledge and time to begin to create wealth. So next week we'll start we'll finish Commandment 8 because Commandment 8 is short. And starting in November, we'll be doing my book, which is Think, Learn, and Feel Rich, which you can get on Amazon or beyondthebusyness.com. Oh yeah, that is right, Jen. And this is what we're going to end with. We want to have some ladies up here who are teaching options and who are winning with options. Okay, that's going to be us, Jen. You have 4 names up there. Let's put our names up there too. All right, love. All right. 08, 08, 08. All right, lovely ladies. Well, thank y'all for coming to Feminine Finance. I will see you all next week. And God bless you all. Thank you for your support. I love the chat and I love each of you. Stay blessed and have a good night. Bye.